What do you think the best part of traveling is? Is it the food, or is it the conversation, or is it the sights and sound? If you're ready to explore, we are ready to show you the best way how. We'll give you access to the best luxury getaway sites in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and of course show you vacation sites that suit your budget, because you do not need a lot of money to actually have a great time. Join us on the next adventure on Buhle Bethu, only on Eswatini TV.
Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by number one news provider Eswatini TV. I am Nondumiso Vilagada alongside Nomakabiso Nkambule, and here are your top stories. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Princess Melane, commends the government of Eswatini, who, through the Commission on Human Rights, continues to do impressive work in Eswatini to ensure the promotion and protection of human rights. The Minister of Tinkundlas Khumbuzo Dlamini says corruption has no place in the ministry. The 4 regional members of Parliament have been sworn in. And now the news in detail. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Princess Melane, commends the government of Eswatini, who through the Commission on Human Rights continues to do impressive work in Eswatini to ensure the promotion and protection of human rights. The minister said this during the 75th commemoration of the Human Rights Day at Sibanesami Hotel.
Human Rights Day is celebrated annually around the world on the 10th of December. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Princess Melane, says despite limited resources and other constraints, the Commission on Human Rights and Public Administration has, from its inception, been on the ground working tirelessly to advance fundamental rights and freedoms in Eswatini.
The ministry continues to support the Commission's efforts to improve the lives of Emaswati, to ensure that they enjoy their rights and that the country aligns with its international human rights obligations.
Minister of Education and Training Owen Ngumalo says there is a great need for Eswatini education to be evaluated to determine if it is still relevant.
Promoting and protecting the right to education is of paramount importance for our country's development.
UN Resident Coordinator George Wachira applauds Eswatini for safeguarding human rights.
During this particular session, we want to commend the domestication of the various conventions, particularly the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women.
Another issue raised by different speakers, including High Court Judge Maxine Langwenya, is that of gender-based violence. The judge says Eswatini should have courts strictly for gender-based violence cases. There was a moment of silence for all those who lost their lives due to gender-based violence. Kango Board of Directors Nonhlanhla Dlamini says if government cannot declare gender-based violence as a pandemic, then it should invest resources. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Viminkosi Nzinisa Ezulwini.
The Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoba Khumalo, says a vibrant SME sector contributes to the economy diversification, reducing dependency on limited number of industries. Khumalo says corporate companies are encouraged to support the local SMEs to grow and succeed to assist other growing entrepreneurs. The minister was speaking during the Business in a Box awarding ceremony held in Babane, Emafini.
About 8 entrepreneurs have received brand new mobile kitchens courtesy of Eswatini Coca-Cola Company. Speaking during the Business in a Box awarding ceremony, the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoba Khumalo, says the mobile kitchens will help these entrepreneurs to save money.
The collaboration between Coca-Cola, Beverages Eswatini, and Business Eswatini stands as a testament of the power of partnerships in driving economic growth, fostering entrepreneurship, and propelling Emaswati economy forward. The noble project called Business in a Box seeks to empower and assist MSMEs in Eswatini by offering them access to markets, training and mentorship, as well as a fully functional mobile kitchen.
The Business in a Box beneficiaries thanked the Coca-Cola Company for believing in their vision.
Akusiko ukuthi siwinile but kusibusiso nasibuka lokuthi besibobani kulabantu labangaka bebakathi nabo bafisa kuina.
They promised that they will take good care of these mobile kitchens and they will also ensure that the gift multiplies. Some of the beneficiaries are young people, and they requested that the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade should assist young people who want to register their companies. Sanele Khumalo, the country director of Coca-Cola Eswatini, says the company is committed to assisting entrepreneurs to grow in different fields.
Bayakhona nekuthi baye kuma events nangabe kunema events bayakhona nekuthi beme la bemakhona la bathengisela khona.
She says that the mobile kitchens will help these entrepreneurs to use other opportunities such as showcasing their products in different events. The Business Eswatini's chairperson, Vuselelo Fagute, assured local entrepreneurs that banks and financial institutions in Eswatini are ready to assist SMEs. These partnerships comes at a time where government has indicated a clear vision of creating more job opportunities for young people. Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Themba Shabangu, Babane.
The Minister of Tinkhundla, Sikhumbuzo Dlamini, says corruption has no place in the ministry. The minister said this while addressing constituency headmen from different constituencies in the Shiselweni region.
The Ministry of Tinkhundla Administration and Development is engaging elected officials from different constituencies in the Shiselweni region for an induction workshop. The Minister of Tinkhundla, Sikhumbuzo Dlamini, says the Tinkhundla Social Responsibility Tool will be highly utilized as the community headman conducts their responsibilities.
Corruption vele idana lelincane lithuba etweni letinkhundla njengoba lokuthi bayasikhulumile nengoyama yakhuluma vele ukuthi indzawo corruption vele asilwe nato lokho sikubeka embili ke vele ukuthi corruption asifuni sibe khona besibafundisa nje sibatshela ukuthi abaphume corruption indzaba poverty reduction fund level lesicalile siyasinzisa ama regulations ukuthi siwende kahle sitawukhumbula ukuthi eMaswati alifale lithuba manje yangasebenzise kahle le mali nyaloko sifuna kwathi indlade ukuthi yini lengentiwa ukuthi umuntu angamunye ngamunye akhonika ubuleka kulesikhwama esabe revolving fund lapho atasala khona eMaswati.
The regional secretary for the Shiselweni region, Becky Twala, says the community headmen are expected to refer to government's guidelines when conducting their duties.
Laba nje sebane ma responsibility na procure ishatino. Abati ke ukuthi uhulumende nakathenga uthenga njani. Singaze stikhanze silandzelwa ngama auditors ukuthi wo sibuke bangani nje ngathenga kumngani ngoba ngimdayele kanti encenye pricing yakhe seyisetulu kakhulu.
The induction for the elected officials will continue for the next 2 coming days. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Thando Kuhlem Dluli, Nhlangano.
The Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Apollo Mapalala, says the ministry has been given a clear mandate of improving service delivery for Eswatini. Mapalala says there is also a need of fighting corruption, which has been the reason of the urban poverty that is sky high. The minister was speaking during an engagement meeting with CEOs from different municipalities and the ministry's HOD held in Eswatini.
The head of departments in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and the chief executive officers of different municipalities in Eswatini have presented before the Minister of Housing about their departments and what is expected of them. Speaking during the engagement meeting, the Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Apollo Mapalala, says among their duties and mandates, they will ensure that service delivery is improved in all sectors of the ministry.
Lokukhulu kakhulu ngiyona lemithetho lesithi semitsala leminye side leminye imitsala sinalo umsebenzi ke lomkhulu lekutaba ukuthi asebenzeni very hard ngoba imithetho ayitichamukele kufuna yendiwe ngithi thina labalapha ngekhathi.
You can say that in our ministry we need to work on some of the legislations that need to be amended. We've been given a clear mandate by the People's Parliament to improve service delivery. In the urban areas, we've seen high numbers of urban poverty where people are even unable to make ends meet. We also have a mandate to eradicate corruption, and this is close to my heart, and we will work together to ensure that resources are used efficiently.
The ministry is still lacking some policies such as the National Urban Policy, among others. Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni, Themba Shabangu, Ezulwini.
The House of Senate of 12th Parliament of the Kingdom of Eswatini has passed a motion to have a sessional committee on disability in the House of Senate. Senator Stuki Motsa raised the motion without notice in the House.
When Senate sat for business, Senator Stuki Motsa raised the motion without notice, wherein she asked the House for a disability sessional committee to be appointed in terms of Standing Order 138. Motivating the motion, Senator Stuki Motsa highlighted that issues of persons with disabilities needed urgent attention as they cut across all spheres of life. Senators then debated the motion.
Are we doing enough to ensure that we are leveling the playing field? Ukuthi onke emaswati aphile nekufanana, onke emaswati athole lokulinganako.
Ukhulu lokho nabo kuyabakhuthaza ukuthi abakhuthaze live ukuthi anembalance sinakeke lokho.
Bonga nengwenyama ukuthi ibe nale wisdom ukuthi ingasipha Make Stuki as a woman who lives as part of a marginalized group.
Senator Stuki Motsa then thanked the senators for their support.
Le committee yentawusita lokho ukuthi tonke letinto zabaleti baka disability bakhona ukuthi tisebenteke kuphele lokho ukuthi bantu labaphila nokuphatheka batikhanze banganakwa batikhanze bangasilutho eveni.
Senate President Lindiwe Dlamini then put the motion to vote to determine if it passes.
Labavumelana nako batawuthi aye. Labavumelana naye batathi nay. The ayes have it and the ayes have it.
Reporting for Eswatini TV, I'm Mbongwa Dube in Lobamba.
The 4 regional members of parliament have been sworn in. They include Lubombo Regional MP Ndombifuthi Ngampalala, Shisolani MP Lindiwe Mamba, Oho MP Danele Makagula, as well as Manzini MP Tandega Mavuso.
The 4 regional members of parliament were elected by the House of Assembly in accordance with the election of women members to the House of Assembly Act number 9 of 2018. They took the oath of allegiance in accordance with Eswatini Constitution. House of Assembly Speaker Jabulani Mabuza tells the regional members of parliament that they should remain committed to their oaths. He says they will be capacitated on standing orders of parliament. On the other hand, Minister of Public Service Mabulala Maseko says the regional MPs should complement, not to compete with members of parliament, especially those from their constituencies.
Niqhubeke nibeke live leMaswati embili njosilana nje sikhethwe sive lesive sisikhethele ukuthi siqhubeke sisebenze kule ndlu ngokwethembeka sisebenzele live sisebenzele sona sive siyanicela nani ukuthi niyibambe khona lapho bahlonishwa niqhubeke umsebenzi ngebucotho wale Parliament. Abahambe ngalesifungo nekokuthi abaketi kutokhompyutha nalamalunga ikakhulu abaqhamuka khona kuyocomplementwana kuyosetshenziswana.
On the other hand, the House of Assembly also elected portfolio committee members. The House of Assembly Speaker Jabulani Mabuza says MPs who are not members of certain committees should not be offended as they will have an opportunity to be part of the committees as alternate members.
Uyakhona nje ukuthi noma ngabe usetiko la tourism iyabhekisa bese uyahamba uyi-alternate member etiko la agriculture nakhona nawo lofuna ukubuka ukubuka.
Another committee that is elected is the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Executive. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Vimikosi Nzinisa Parliament.
The Chief Executive Office of MTN Eswatini, Wandile Mjwali, says the company is committed to assisting local businesses grow digitally in a way that will grow the economy. Mjwali says the company values feedback from their corporate client as this will improve the kind of service that they render to Emaswati, especially entrepreneurs. Mjwali was speaking during a business luncheon with clients held in Eswatini.
Most local businesses are applying digital technology to reinvent their businesses in a way that transforms their companies and customer experience. Speaking during a client luncheon, the Eswatini MTN's Chief Executive Officer Wandile Mjwali says they value customer-client engagement, especially in issues around the transformation of local enterprises.
Inkampani eziningi setukade ukuthi setiyembili tiyachubeka tifuna ukudijitizer processes abo systems abo. Thina njenga MTN si provide le facility ukuthi bakwazi ukwenza lokho bakachieve.
Mjwali says the power of partnership is critical in the sustainability of local businesses. Mjwali says they are committed in driving growth and innovation in Eswatini. Wandile Dlamini, the MTN's head of department of the business enterprise, says MTN Eswatini has been supporting local businesses through programs such as empowering SMEs, where these SMEs are given an opportunity to learn how to grow their businesses in a more sustainable way that will have economic impact.
Njalo ngekota sibandana kulokuthiwa i-SME seminar. So kulawo ma-SME seminar sibita abosomabhizinisi labancane sitohlanganyelana nabo njengoba sendile lana amasomabhizinisi labakhulu.
MTN Eswatini is among the companies that are helping government to improve financial literacy through programs such as Mobile Money Program. The Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangeni Themba Shabangu, Ezulwini.
The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has used a rarely exercised power to warn the Secretary Council yesterday on an impending humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. He further urged its members to demand an immediate humanitarian ceasefire.
In his letter to the Security Council's 15 members, he said Gaza's humanitarian system was at risk of collapse after 2 months of war that has created human suffering, physical destruction, and collective trauma. Therefore, he demanded civilians to be spared from greater harm. He further invoked Article 99 of the United Nations Charter, which says the Secretary-General may inform the Council of matters he believes threaten international peace and security. He says the international community has a responsibility to use all its influence to prevent further escalation.
I have condemned unequivocally the horrifying and unprecedented 7 October acts of terror by Hamas in Israel. Nothing can justify the deliberate killing, injuring, and kidnapping of civilians or the launching of rockets against civilian targets.
Meanwhile, in the United States of America, following the blockage to the advancement of billions of dollars by the United States Senate Republicans to assist Ukraine on military and economy, President Joe Biden criticized their tactics, saying they are dangerous to the American history. However, he also indicated an openness to the border policy changes, which is of first priority to the lawmakers, as the border system is overwhelmed by refugees, causing violence in Central America. Reporting for Eswatini TV, I'm Pendulo Kumbi, visuals sourced from France 24 and DW.
Dear viewers, now take a look at our financial updates.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV. Now, sports news tonight. Clerk to Parliament Benedict Xaba has announced the Parliamentary Sports Committee. Xaba says the committee will not only focus on sports but also bring service delivery to communities.
Clerk to Parliament Benedict Xaba says Parliament will use the Sports Committee to bring government to the people. He says this will help to improve service delivery.
iParliament ku-induction ibonile ukuthi ayisebentise nakulokuthiwa i-power of sports ukuze ikhone kuyofika emimangweni emakhaya interact nesive iphindze imixe ema-services kubantu ikhone ku-interacta ne-community.
A member of Parliament David Ngampalala is the manager of the team. He pleads with companies to support the initiative by Parliament by ensuring that when they visit communities, they are also able to provide for the less privileged. Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture, Manda Chauga, who is the coach of the team, says this initiative is in accordance with His Majesty King Mswati III Nkwe, which is service delivery.
Sicela tona tingaphane tiphume tisekele ngoba mawuya kubantu ulunga leParliamente akwendeki uya ulengise tandla babhekile ethi makufika iParliamente labo lokufanele basitakale bogogo nabo banibani bakhona ukuthi iParliament kube khona lekushiya abajabulile.
Lo muthe welive wasethuma usasihambe silethe iservice kubantu sithi Nkwe sicethe buphuya nendlala. Kuningi lesingakwenda lokunye kwako lokubita ukuthi sikuchase ngala kuma sports kuzobonakala ukuthi vele sikuye lo Nkwe.
It also transpired during the press briefing that the members of Parliament will not only play football, but all sporting courts when visiting the communities. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Vumikosi Nzinisa, Parliament.
Nsingizini Hotspurs have announced a sponsorship from Eswatini Meat Industries worth 1.5 million Malangeni. The club has also unveiled the 3 kits for the 2023-2024 season.
Nsingizini Hotspurs has officially unveiled 3 soccer kits for the year 2023 to 2024, with Primo being the technical sponsor. The Chief Executive Officer for the club, Banele Ngobe, is highlighting how the contribution from the main sponsor, Eswatini Meat Industries, will help the club.
Kule season lena nayo season letako tutawuhlala phansi sixoxisane lokuthi lo mshado wethu kuyona utaba isikhathi esinganani kodwa kule season le besivele sivumele njengoba nibona kuba khona bato nawo stothula lokusho ukuthi basinikethile nje imali le announce la niyibonile nani lo 1.5 million per season. Primo is our technical sponsor ngeseason utema replica kule season lena nje kunema replica la 2500 la vele apart of that lengasho nganansi la mfezivani kusasavela khona la replicas la sawuqala nje kusasa sale Eswatini.
The director for Primo, Chian Chidoni, is commenting on what attracted them into supporting the club.
This opportunity presented itself where the club was interested, and so we jumped on the opportunity, and through the brief meetings with the CEO and the rest of the members of the club, professional, they've got big goals, and we want to be part of that journey, which is what encouraged us to get behind them.
The technical sponsorship between Nsingizini Hotspurs and Primo will run for 3 years. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Thando Mdluli, Singizini.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a quick recap of today's headlines. The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Princess Melane, commends the government of Eswatini, who, through the Commission on Human Rights, continues to do impressive work in Eswatini to ensure the promotion and protection of human rights. The Minister of Tinkhundla Sikhumbuzo Dlamini says corruption has no place in the ministry. The 4 regional members of parliament have been sworn in. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.